Hey everyone, so here's the trade recap for yesterday, the 16th of August longs for 11R. So over here, I mentioned previously inside my private Facebook group during the forecast, I was actually potentially looking for longs from this area here to go up towards one of these sell zones over here. But I did make a mistake, which I'll go through, leaving some profits on the table. So as you can see, there was the 4-hour demand chain over here. So there could be a potential that price actually goes up from this area towards this 4-hour sell zone over here. So when I came down to the 15-minute during the London session, price kept breaking structure over here and over here. But as you can see, the break of structure compared to this circled area versus the wave structure broke over here, it indicates that price action is slowing down, and we also are in that demand chain. So clearly the buyers are holding this lower area over here. So I went down, because this 4-hour zone is really big, I went down to the 15-minute to try and refine this big area here. So if we look left, the 15-minute demand zone that I drew up was at this area here. So it's not the cleanest, but if we drop down to the 10-minute and have a look, we can see that there was actually a minor high over here which we broke. So this would have been the demand zone that I would have drawn up or refined. So if we like to refine it, it could also have been this zone over here. So sometimes I do play with the 15 and the 10-minute, especially if the 15-minute is not clear. So if we go back to the right, yesterday's price action, once we hit that area on the 15-minute, I actually waited on the 1-minute, because I noticed again price barely managed to close below this area. It was all wicks on the 15. So when I went down to the 1-minute and waited for price action to deliver, so London was a mess during the low period after the London opened, so I wasn't looking for any trades then. I only came back during the New York session, and that's when I saw on the 1-minute we had the first bullish structure shift over here when price broke above the previous last lower high. So I wasn't comfortable taking these longs at that point in time yet, but it would have been possible to take it early, but this would have been very aggressive, seeing that on the 15-minute we were very bearish previously. The only upside is that I was looking for longs in a 4-hour demand area. So if you go back down to the 15-minute, so once price action actually broke the previous 15-minute highs, I was more comfortable to take long. So that's when I went down to the 1-minute to look for my long entries at that point in time. So if we drew into the price action over here, this was the 1-minute structure shift, this was the 15-minute structure shift. We were stuck actually in this entire big range on the 1-minute. So once price cleared this last range high, I was more comfortable to take longs, so I was watching for longs at this last demand zone over here. So the reason why I did not draw up this demand over at this point here is because this is the extreme. The lower one over here is the extreme, and so I just prefer to trade from the extreme because I want to buy as low as possible. So I set my limit order on this area here with the stop loss below these lows over here. So once price cleared these highs, I put my stop loss to break even. So over on the 15-minute, I did make an error in my sell zones. So on the forecast, I put up that I had this sell zone over here. However, when I was on the live markets, I noticed that this sell zone was created of nothing really, and this was just a mere minor structure low break. So I was looking at this range over here and wondering why price stopped there. So that's when I went to investigate on the left, and I noticed that we did have this 15-minute structure break, this 15-minute demand zone over here. So I drew it up and watched for the reaction to that 15-minute demand zone. So what happened was we came in, put back, and then we broke it. So I drew up the extreme sell zone over here and wanted to, and should have actually aimed for this 15-minute sell zone instead. So by doing that, I could have actually, instead of an 11R trade, this trade would have actually been for 18. So that was easily like 7R left on the table. So yeah, this would have been the learning area for my trade here. So if you like to take your trading seriously, or you're still struggling with your trading and need some help, I do have a mentorship program. Hit the link down in the description below, and then you can click on this button over here to enroll in my mentorship program. Or if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a DM.